Today we compare and go head to head with the Losi Lasernut U4 vs Losi Tenacity DB Pro and find out what's better and what you should or shouldn't buy. Coming up.
Paper, scissors, rock!
Hey, what's up guys? I'm Joe.
And I'm Amber with
TheRcKiwis. On this channel we do everything from bashing, crawling, speedruns, unbox reviews and much more.
So if you're new here, consider subscribing. That way you won't miss out on any of our future RC adventures.
And in today's adventure we're going to be comparing the Losi Lasernut up against the Losi Tenacity DB Pro. We're going to be taking them out to a racetrack, going head to head. And at the very end of this video, we'll tell you guys which one we think that you should buy.
Now before we head out to the track, let's start off with a few comparisons. Both of these trucks are 110 scale, electric, ready to run, four-wheel drives.
Now looking at the differences, the price we'll start off with. The Losi Tenacity DB Pro comes in at $429.99, whereas the Losi Lasernut is $479.99. Now remember guys, that is in US dollars. We always speak most of the time in US dollars. They both come with the same 130 amp ESC, but the motors are different. In the Tenacity DB Pro, it comes with a 3150 kV motor, which is up to 3S capable, whereas the Losi Lasernut comes with a 1900 kV motor, which is up to 4S capable. This RC is gonna have a bit more torque, which is gonna need to drive these big tires over some rough terrain.
Now both of the bodies are very similar, and the DB Pro comes with a wing on the back, whereas the Lasernut comes with a functioning spare tire. And they both have the light bars along the top here, but the Lasernut has light pods on each side as well.
When it comes to the chassis, they are both made out of the same material, 3mm in thickness, but on the Losi Lasernut, it is slightly longer.
Now the battery strap in the DB Pro is, I call it a lever, and it's attached by a body clip. And the battery strap in the Lasernut is 3 separate Velcro straps, which is going to help you fit a bigger battery in there if you need to.
They both have front and rear sway bars, but on the Lasernut, the sway bars are different, more scale looking when compared to the Losi Tenacity DB Pro. And finally, the center of gravity on the Tenacity DB Pro is a lot lower, which is going to help with their handling a lot. Whereas the Lasernut has a high center of gravity, so the handling probably won't be as good, but it's definitely going to help it clear that much higher and bumpier terrain. Well, that just about covers the differences between these two RCs. There are a lot of similarities between the two. For example, the A-arms are the same, the turnbuckles, the camber links, the shocks, the axles, a lot of similarities. But if you want to know more about these two RCs, they'll both be linked in the description down below. And if you're interested in buying one and you go through our link, it doesn't cost you any extra, but it does help support the channel, so we do thank you very, very much if you do so. Anyway, Amber, that is enough talking. Let's head downstairs, grab a taxi, and head into Lali Warehouse, the off-road racetrack here in Hong Kong. Finally, we made it out here to Lali Warehouse, our DB Pro and our Losi Lasernut. Cannot wait to get these out on the track, try the Lasernut for the first time on the track, and have our race stand. Look, we also brought the WL Toys 124019, 124018. They'll be in a future video, so in order to not miss it, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And in here we have Amber hiding away. And our gear, we've got our batteries, we've got our camera gear, we've got a Coke Zero, we're good to go.
Today we're running the Spectrum 5000 milliamp 50C discharge, 4S for the Lasernut and 3S for the DB Pro, and we're using the Spectrum Smart range because, well, we're smart. Remote on first, plug the battery in, and turn the car on.
Well, I tell you what, that was Amber doing all that warming up, and she is pretty good. She has gotten so much better, especially on the DB Pro. And I mean, she was struggling a little bit with the Losi Lasernut around the track. It is a little bit harder we've been finding so far, but she did a pretty good job anyway. But one thing that has happened is on the steering rack, we lost this screw. Luckily, someone had one that would fit it, so we're back in action with the Losi Lasernut. And also, the drive shaft, the axle here on the right front side of the Lasernut did pop out, probably because they're bent so badly from when we took it out for its review. We're going to pop that back in and then get straight into race day. MIP, man, the best tool. Oh no, you can see on the arm there, we've cracked the arm. But that's not going to stop us. We're still going to go out there and do our race day. Well guys, it's finally race day. I'm going to be on the Losi Lasernut first. Amber's going to be on the Losi Tenacity DB Pro. We're going to do 2 races with 2 laps each. For the second race, we're going to switch RCs, and if we do ever draw after 2 races, we'll go for a 3rd final tiebreaker race. But hope it might not come to that. You know, I don't know. Amber's been doing pretty well. I'm actually afraid that I'm going to get dominated right now. The little lump there is the starting line. Amber, go ahead and give us the countdown.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, go.
And off we go for race number 1. Now I have to say, I've been very impressed with Amber's driving today. She has been dominating the track earlier on during the warm-up. Even the locals are absolute pros. We're looking at Amber thinking, man, you look good. Man, look, I mean, she's dominating me right now, but that is because the DB Pro is certainly a lot easier around the track. Now I'm being extra careful because that front arm is cracked and will break at any time that drive shaft pops out, and it's just disastrous. So I have to take it easier. I'm just making excuses.
Any excuses for when you lose, right?
At the moment, as Amber's got the lead for race 1 at the moment. This is the final lap. Can I catch up? Can the Lasernut catch up?
I was just going to say, I really changed my mind on the DB Pro. I was so critical of it, and I feel a little bit bad now. Well, but I'm actually really enjoying it, and it is so good on the track.
And that's exactly why we have it in our top 5 picks for RCs when we did that video earlier on. And it's still up there. It's still one of my favourites. Amber, I think you've absolutely dominated this race.
Oh, would you look at that?
You did dominate me there. Well, Amber has won race number 1. It's time to switch cars for race number 2. Race number 2, I am on the Losi Tenacity DB Pro. Amber is on the Losi Lasernut. I'm going to give us the countdown. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
3, 2, 1, go. And we are off for our race number 2.
What are you doing?
Amber wins this. She has won race day, and I'll be doing the dishes. We cannot allow this.
I need to win this one. Need to.
Oh, that was a good jump from me.
I'm trying to prove a point.
This is why I love this car. It's so nice to drive around the track.
It is. It really is.
Jumps smoothly. Amber has crashed. She's off. Oh, it distracted me. It distracted. I was looking at your car when you crashed. No.
Yeah,
Amber's
excuses,
just taking the lead.
Excuses.
We're on the final lap though. We've still got a whole lap to go, Amber.
Oh my goodness.
Here we go. Into the final lap. Oh, I'm going to catch you. I'm going to catch you. As soon as I can get across. I just don't want to crash. Oh, get out of here. Get
what are
out
you
of here.
doing?
There we go.
No. No.
Amber, stop. You've broken the drive, so popped out. We have to pause there. We're back. Amber's drive shaft had come out. It's popped back in. Give us the countdown, Amber.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, this was the final lap of race number 2, if I remember correctly.
Oh.
So I think the DB Pro has got it in the bag. Those tyres, that low center of gravity. I just love this colour. I'm just taking it easy, make sure I'm not going to flip. Amber's desperately trying.
I'm so trying.
And there we go, I've won race number 2. Amber won race number 1, which means we are to a tiebreaker. Paper, scissors, rock. Oh, no, Amber, what car do you want to be on for the tiebreaker?
I'm going to need that remote control back. Thank you.
Oh, well, Amber is on the Tenacity DB Pro. I am on the Lasernut. This is race number 3, the tiebreaker. 1 lap. Amber, give us the countdown.
Okay, are you ready to lose?
I don't think so.
3, 2, 1, go.
And off we go. Amber's taking it. I'm going to have to really work hard here with the Lasernut. I mean, I can imagine the Lasernut would dominate if it was a rocky racetrack, but this is a nice, smooth dirt track.
I almost landed that whole thing.
Should have it in the bag. Ooh.
This part gets me. No.
Come on, no.
Cannot.
Can Amber crash? Can Amber crash?
Don't say that.
No. Oh,
Don't say that.
Oh, there we go. Oh wow, that was a good race.
That was a good race.
Good job, Amber. Well, it looks like I'm doing the dishes tonight.
Aww.
Time to head home and give you our thoughts on these two cars. Man, I just absolutely love it when we go out to the racetrack and having race days. I just keep thinking about it. I could do that every single day. And if you haven't gone out to a racetrack before with your RC, stop wasting time. Go down to your local track and take for a race. And if you don't have a local track, well, just make a track and have some fun. But look, before we get into which RC we think that you should buy, we want to give a shout out to the member of today, and that is to Robert Dreyer. Huge shout out to you. He joined the Kiwi Club recently and made his first comment 1 month ago on a community post, which was, which do you prefer out of the Traxxas Slash and the Armour Senton? And well, this was Robert's comment. I've only gotten to run my Senton for 2 minutes since owning it due to the tyres blowing up on our track. It would be too early for me to vote. Also, my Slash is only 2-wheel drive, so it kind of blows at our track also. Well, look, Robert, we can completely relate to you, as when we took our Senton out for its first run, the tyre also exploded. But luckily, so far, touch wood, the tyre has remained intact, and we hope that you did get yourself some new tyres and have managed to drive your Senton out, because the Senton is a bunch of fun.
And a special shout out to Willow, and Willow is the daughter of Robert, who we were just telling you about. Willow, we're so proud to see you wearing the TheRcKiwis t-shirt. We can't wait to see and hear what your friends at school have to say. You're going to be the cutest and the most adorable kid in your school.
And the coolest kid in your school. Now, I know some of you guys are probably wondering, well, what was the result of that poll between Slash and the Senton? Well, we had 727 people vote in that poll, and 64% of you said you prefer the Slash, and 36% of you said you prefer the Senton. Now, the ones that we prefer, we'll tell you in a future video when we do a bit more comparison video. But anyway, let's get into which RC you should buy when comparing the Losi Lasernut and the Tenacity DB Pro.
Well, Joe, it looks like you better get in that kitchen and start doing the dishes, because guess who won again? No, I've got to say, guys, I'm super critical of the DB Pro, and I always have wondered why Joe loves it so much. And because when we use this one, we usually use it up against the Slash, I think we last versed this with. And I love the Slash, so always been super critical of this, but I've got to tell you, this time changed my mind. I had a really good run on this, and I think I did pretty well. I'm pretty proud of myself. This one definitely better for the track. This one definitely better for bashing, in my opinion anyway, but as Joe's shirt says.
Now, in terms of what you should buy, it depends. Now, if you've got a racetrack like we do, Lally Warehouse, which is a dirt track, then definitely the Losi Tenacity DB Pro is going to be the better choice. It has a lower center of gravity, it handles a lot nicer around the track, and if you upgrade the tyres to tyres that suit your track and a better servo, it really does level up the Tenacity DB Pro. Now, if you have a U4 racing track, which is what this is made for, the U4 racing track differs to what we were just at, and the difference is that it's going to have some technical parts of the track. It's still going to have some dirt jumps and some straights and some corners, but it's also going to have some rocks and rough terrain obstacles in the way, where having the high center of gravity and these bigger tyres and torquey motor is going to help it get through. So if you have a U4 racing track, which I wish we did nearby, then definitely it's a no-brainer. I would go for the Losi Lasernut. Now, like Amber said, if it came also down to bashing and you're not really interested in going to the racetrack, you don't have a U4 racetrack nearby, you don't have a regular racetrack nearby, you just want to go out and bash, well, I agree with Amber. The Losi Lasernut would be my pick for a pure bashing when comparing these two RCs. Just having those bigger tyres and torquey motor is definitely going to help out with that. Now, one weak point that we've noticed on both of these RCs is the drive shafts. They use the same drive shafts and they bend fairly easily. We took our Losi Lasernut out for its first run. We did some moderately sized jumps and small jumps. We bent all the drive shafts. We took our DB Pro up for a full-on durability test, and we were doing some big jumps, and we also did bend all the drive shafts. A link to that video will be in the description and up here if you want to go check that out. It was a pretty fun video. Now, we do have a solution possibly to these bending drive shafts, and we're going to showcase that in a future video. So in order to not miss when we take our Losi Lasernut out to MX Club and hit that black ramp at full speed, make sure you go and you hit that subscribe button.
If you enjoyed this video, give it a like, and if you didn't, give it a like anyway. Make sure you're staying safe out there on your RC adventures.
And remember guys, go check out TheRcKiwis.com, get yourself a cap, get yourself some tops, get a hoodie. Hey look, remember, we're the RC Kiwis, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace out.